How's it going? It's G.I. Jake, your proud U.S. Army veteran, here to serve you. Today I'm going to talk about time in service and the importance of setting goals. Time in service, I had a few questions come to me about how long you have to enlist. I would advise you read the small print. I originally enlisted in 3.5 years active duty. However, you have three options after that initial contract. You can either re-up, you can either go reserve, or you can go inactive reserve. Essentially means inactive reserve means you're out, but if all hell ever broke loose and they needed you back, you have to come back. And what most people don't know is you actually have to do 8 years when you go in. Okay, so just be prepared. No matter what you're doing, 8 years. Whether you sign up for 5 years, that remaining 3 is going to have to be either reserve, re-up, meaning you get another 3 years active, or you go the rest of those 3 years inactive. So no matter what, you're doing 8 years, no matter what. Now there are people that are lifers, and those are individuals who will stay in there for 20 plus years because then you can retire. So basically I had plenty of those guys in my platoon where they just, you know what, they're like, I'm just gonna do this for 20 years. So, you know, you can do that, right? And then you can retire and then go do a job and then retire another 20 years later and then, you know, what have you. So there are individuals that do that. Me, I did my 3.5 years. I knew I was getting out. So when it came time for me to re-up, which would be again for me to like stay in. Now the good thing though when you re-up is usually you get the option to choose a different duty station or, you know, get a signing bonus and what have you. Me though, like I said, after my 3.5 years, I was like, I'm not going reserve, I'm not staying in active, no, I'm going inactive. And I got out and came home. And then in 2014, when I hit my 8th year, I got my honorable discharge certificate, actual certificate. Now there were like some muster formations I was supposed to go to and whatnot, but really all I did was my 3.5 years active duty and I got out. So whether, again, you're signing up for 3, 4 years, 5 years, just know no matter what, you're still gonna have to hit that 8-year mark. And again, there's people that will stay in 20 plus years. Then, you know, they're comfortable with the free on-housing living, you know, the food, all the benefits that you get with it. And then, you know, if you deploy, you know, and if you have to relocate, let's say the unit moves, because my unit had moved to Fort Carson, this is way back when, 4th ID, the Army will pay for you to move and everything. So like there's people that'll stay in and take advantage of all the benefits and then they'll retire after 20 plus years. More importantly though, no matter what you're doing, you always want to make sure you have goals, right? So if you're doing 3.5 years, like I did, my goal was to do my 3.5 years, get an honorable discharge, which I did, right? Take as much value, you know, instill as much values as possible. And then when I got out, I was gonna go use the GI Bill and get my bachelor's degree, which I did as well. I got my bachelor's degree in 3 years. I got very lucky. There was a new GI Bill that went out and I was able, because I got my bachelor's degree in 3 years, I still had a year left and I was able to apply that towards my master's. So definitely want to make sure you're using the GI Bill properly if you can. But that was my goal, you know, serve my country, do my time, get honorable discharge, which I did, never get in trouble, which I didn't, and then got my honorable discharge and went to college. That was my goal. So you always want to make sure you have a goal. If you want to do 20 plus years in the military, make sure you're setting goals. You know, my goal, I want to be an E8 before I get out, E7, E8, whatever. Or you know, if you're an officer, I want to make colonel. You always want to make sure you're setting goals and then accomplishing them. Once you get there, set a new set of goals. When I went in, I was an E1, I wanted to hit specialist. That was my goal. I was a fuzzy. I didn't have any rank at all when I went into basic training. And by the time I was 18 months in the Army, I already had made my specialist. I was getting 300s on my PT score. Again, I was never in trouble. I never got any Article 15s, none of that. So you always want to make sure you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's. And whether you're staying in 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, just make sure you're setting goals and accomplishing them. Write them down, put up a vision board, do what you got to do. Make sure you're hanging out with the right crowd. And again, just make sure you're leading by example, right? In the military, there's a lot of leaders that are created, not created, but defined, I would say, emerge, right? You know, I had a guy on one of my platoons, was in basic training, a real quiet dude. And by the 12th week, he was our platoon guy because he was able to emerge himself as a strong leader. And people like that. People want to see someone who's doing the right thing and who can face adversity and accomplish it, okay? So always do the right thing, set goals, accomplish them. And again, no matter if you're doing 3 years in the military or 20 years in the military, just make sure you're setting those goals and accomplishing them. And not only that, you're staying out of trouble and you're hanging around the right people, okay? Again, this is G.I. Jake, your proud U.S. Army veteran, here to serve you. thank you for all you do. If you're a veteran, if you're thinking about enlisting, thank you again. We need you, and thanks for everything. Take care.